Awesome, cheeky, brave.
Bright. Happy. Amazing.
Beautiful. Battler. Blessing.
Perfect. Fighter. And my soulmate.
Troublemaker, cheeky, and superstar.
Perfect. Princess and beastie.
One of the big memories is we got granted a wish and we went to Euro Disney on Boxing Day 2013. The kids got up in the morning and there was an invite under the door from Mickey and Minnie. Come to City Hall for 11 o'clock. And when we turned up, we got ushered into a private room and we had a private audience with Mickey and Minnie.
I remember Top Gear was on telly, rubbish, nonsense, but what was hilarious was Jeremy Clarkson sitting there talking nonsense, and I just looked at her and said, don't listen to that silly man. And it was a moment where it was just me and my daughter watching telly, and something that at that point I wasn't sure whether I'd have that opportunity through her life. But at that point I wasn't thinking like that, I was just sitting watching telly with my daughter.
I was left on my own with him in the hospital room when he passed away, and just said to him, I'm going to look after myself, mate, for ever since that point onwards, to help every person I come in touch with. And he was smart through everything, and so basically that's what I do now. Everything's done in his name, and he's my inspiration basically.
I think my favourite memory of Harvey is his first day at school, because we got told when he was 2 he'd never make it to school, and to see him to get to experience something that every child should get to experience and have little friends and little bonds, and yeah, without doubt that's my favourite memory with Harvey.
So she was in nursery and they were all having lunch and a little girl got up to go to the toilet, and then when she came back she couldn't find a chocolate bar, and then after a couple of minutes Lily decided to say, oh, I know where it is, I found it, and pointed inside her mouth and she'd eaten it. And it was just something so out of character, something that I never thought she'd do, but yeah, it's just something that we can still laugh about now and have a memory that's just full of joy.
Just every single day with him, every single day of those four short years we got. It'd be impossible to pick just one.
Derian Dads is a group of men who, they just get it. They understand exactly what it's like to feel that pain of losing a child, and outside in the real world most people don't have that feeling. So when I go to Derian Dads and I say I've had a bad day, they know what that bad day feels like and feeling like you've got a voice again.
I see firstly a group of men who support each other, form amazing friendships, and also completely get the feelings that they're going through.
They have a group cohesion straight away because they all share the same parameters of their challenges really, which is obviously the reason why we ran the group in the first place, to support them and support each other.
Being in the Dads group, there are other people there, to support you when you're down or lift you up, or or you're there to support somebody when they're down.
And what changed really was a quick understanding that it could be about way more than grief, but it was about sharing, it was about a shared understanding, about not saying stuff. And I got to feel, that these were a group of lads and, and a group that would get it.
I expected to walk into an AA meeting I thought it would be a load of men sat around in a circle saying, "Hi, my name's Jake and I'm a depressed dad."
We almost felt there was a little obligation to share our story. That dissipated almost immediately after we'd had that first meeting, and I remember being exhausted the day after that first meeting.
I'm not the most open, shall I say, and the thought of sitting around a table or going to a restaurant or going for a beer or playing golf with strangers and talking about Harvey was very overwhelming. I thought I've got to give it a try, and like I said, yeah, Lucy was a big part, and I trusted her, and I don't regret it ever since I've been coming.
Basically, they come in, and I think they all come in assuming it's going to be doom gloom, talk about the child passing away, get out the feelings out, but it's nothing like that. First they come in, telling jokes, give them a good hug when they come through the door, and you soon find out it's really weird, because I don't think there's one person that's got a wicked sense of humour in the group. Just basically, just as soon as they're in, we had a new guy start a couple of meetings ago, and he fitted right in straight away, telling dad jokes, and that was it.
It's just that comfort blanket that it gives you, and knowing they're there. And then if you do have something you want to speak about, you know in a couple of weeks' time, if there's no one in your home life or your circle and you want to try and keep up that presence that you're doing well, knowing in a couple of weeks' time you've got this group to come to, and you can talk, and it's very, very rewarding.
So the fact I can go to a room full of people who understand, and I can just cry and I don't feel judged, you know, it feels like family, so I belong with family.
And I think they like it because it's not a very formal setting, so it's obviously very relaxed. There's a lot of humour. I think they bond over various different things. It's not a place where you have to come and speak about your child, but obviously if that comes up, then everyone understands, and if you're upset, they understand. If you want to have a laugh, everyone has a laugh. We talk about all sorts of things, so I think it's just an important safe space for them all to be.
I am very reserved when it comes to sharing things. I'm very vocal when I'm trying to get other people to share experiences and talk about what's on the mind, or but I'm very bad at doing that myself, so being able to be part of a group where guys understand that was a breath of fresh air, to be honest.
I think Derian Dads gives me a purpose. I think that I think we've all helped each other with small things, and there's good examples of things like birthdays and Christmases, and how do you navigate such big annual events that you know they're going to happen.
Those are the hard days, the days you don't get, the memories you don't get. And it's like wondering what the day would have actually been like. Because this year he, in July, his birthday's the 8th of July, and this coming July would be the year he would have turned 21, even though we lost him at 9, so it's a poignant year. But I'm going to be running the marathon in April in his memory.
But we do have a good understanding and a good emotional intelligence around understanding when people's anniversaries are coming up. Understanding that the anniversaries don't have to be obvious ones as well. You know, we all think about when we've lost our children, we all think about their birthdays.
The reason why it was set up in the first place was a couple of dads came up to me at one of our bereavement events 3 years ago and asked if there was something for dads, which there hadn't been before. So we just thought we'd go for it, and we had no idea whether it would be a success or not. And initially it was just with tea and biscuits, and I would say very strongly that if you want to get men to a group, I would offer food, and we always provide a takeaway, and it proved very popular. And I also think sitting around a table with food is very sociable as well, but I would definitely suggest that would be a good option. Gets them through the doors.
Yeah, and I also think with this kind of situation, when a father has suffered a bereavement, there's a lot of space, because maybe before they've had, you know, a lot of things that they've had to consider with that child, all of a sudden there's space, and that space needs to be filled by something constructive. And if this is going to be constructive for those people, for those dads, then so be it. And I think that's something that again builds that cohesion between them, and you know, that unity and that almost like that team mentality.
Yeah, it just feels like being sat down pub with your mates, having a chinwag, having a catch up and a laugh, and then in the next second somebody can get really deep and start talking about how it might potentially be their anniversary of something, that like what they've gone through, or it might be their little one's birthday, and it can just flip on a coin. Like from one second to the next you could be having a laugh, having dad jokes all day long, and then someone says something quite particular, and then it gives another member of the group that chance to open up. And I'm feeling like this month, like I don't know what's triggered it, don't know why it is, but having that openness with each other.
Charlotte, I think about her every day, but that doesn't mean you don't live your life. And I think knowing that other blokes were going through that and were living their lives, and you know, we're able to have good times as well, but never forget that really helps.
We've recently started playing darts because we've got a dartboard, and just having a chat whilst playing darts feels like the most normal thing in the world. But I don't know, it's just that environment that we've created that it allows us to have fun without feeling the guilt. And that's a really key thing, because before I came to Derian, I felt really guilty for having a good time. It almost felt like I should always be miserable and sad because I've lost Lily May. But actually we're still allowed to have fun.
Men deal with things in different ways, I think, and we like building his emotions up and things like that. So we trap it in basically, don't we? A lot of people don't want to talk about in counselling, and it's just somewhere to be with somebody who understands, but you don't have to speak about it.
Can you tell us that joke? Not one that I can share on camera.
What's the best thing about living in Switzerland? I haven't got a clue, but the flag's a big plus. Sorry, that's poor. But there you go, that's the best you're getting.
Appreciate that. Do you want to get this in? Do you want to get in one of his creations? Yeah.
We're a tricky bunch, aren't we, men? And there's something in the family, the setup of families that still, even, you know, in a modern world where so much is changing and evolving around us, where we still feel like we have to be the strong one, even if we patently aren't in that arrangement.
I was brought up in an environment where crying was a sign of weakness.
Men naturally don't communicate as well with the people around them. They might kind of go inward and withdraw, and in that can cause more and more problems. Therefore, in a place like this, in a place where they can share these kind of things, it's an awful lot easier for them to build that cohesion with other blokes, really.
What's happened in the Derian group is that a group of very different characters come together, and what I've seen in every single person is a vulnerability, fun, it's real strength of value around supporting others around them, empathy, a lot of characteristics that you wouldn't immediately associate with men.
I mean, it's a well-known stereotype that we don't talk, we keep everything locked away, we hide away from things, hide away from talking and our feelings.
Because if you go back to where I started, you know, if we're just a bloke dealing with grief, well, you can't cry, you can't be sad. You know, that's what society tells us, and it's just so untrue.
I get quite emotional about it sometimes, because I think it grows from it grows, which is bittersweet in many respects because we get new dads and obviously there's a reason why they're coming to the group, so that's really sad. But equally, when you see them settle in and the other dads put their arms around them, so to speak, and welcome them into the group, everybody's different from different walks of life, and yet this group, they're so together. It's a joy to run the group, it's a joy to be at the group, and it's a joy for us to, you know, go on the journey with them, if you like. And we do have a lot of laughs, don't we?
We do,
but we're there for them if, you know, if they need a bit of extra support. I love it. I absolutely love this group. I could go on about it for hours, couldn't I, John?
You could. It's lovely how they have a situation whereby a new person comes in, they are welcomed in the usual way that blokes welcome, you know, other blokes in. But then they have these really tender moments whereby they tell their story. Everybody listens, everybody takes note, everybody interjects, everybody's totally validating how they feel all the time. And there's never a moment where that person feels like this isn't for me. And everybody in that group is from a completely different walk of life. So it's yeah, okay, the subject matter that binds them together is a really horrific situation. But isn't it great how they can seek solace in each other from that point? It's amazing.
It is.
I just want them to know that I really appreciate them all for the people that they are, not the situations that they've had to experience. It matters to me that we understand each other off the back of those situations, but I value their friendship as blokes, you know, not victims.